look like. They're slightly narrower, so it's like there's a couple things going on. They either change the style to save money on materials, or they don't want the dyke look, which is what the other shoes. Someone was like, they're a little dykey, you know, they're extra bulbous, they look too manly, like we're going hiking-ish, you know, with the dyke squad. So did someone decide we need to tone that down a little bit? I discovered Keen Presidios, a used pair in REI, way back in 2010. I actually visited someone, you know, who I considered a friend back then. She's married now to her partner, and they have a child somehow together as a lesbian couple, same-sex marriage. I met her because she came into a nonprofit agency where I was serving part-time as a victim advocate or survivor advocate of abusive relationships. You can be a counselor without an actual degree in, you know, psychology or what have you. Just like church counselors, in that realm. Like church counselors often might not have. They're there as support and help you maybe figure out, is there another way, you know. So, or did anyone think of this or what have you. We got Ramsey off of this guy with his hair. I got two people off of that guy, and the other guy with in New York, Giovanni or what have you. By the way, I worked for Giovanni's Room Bookstore when it was a bookstore here in the Gayborhood, and we're here in the Gayborhood. So, anyway, I went out to visit her in Seattle because I was actually considering moving to Seattle. Because I was like, I had been in Philadelphia for 10 years, and I'd gotten to the point where I was like, maybe my luck will be better somewhere else. I could find, maybe I could get a job at a university in Washington State. This was my kind of in the back of my head. If I could get a job at Washington State, or Washington University, the state of Washington, not the District of Columbia, maybe I could go on for my master's and it would be reimbursed. You see what I mean? Or they would pay for it, however that works. So that was my plan. But 2011 came in and threw a major wrench into those plans. But Becky and I, we did a bunch of things. We actually zip-lined. We did like an obstacle course zip-line out by a beer brewery out there. We went to like Bainbridge Island or similar, some sort of island. And we went to REI, and I realized they had a section for like recycled and used products, and they had Keen Presidios there. She picked them up first and was like, oh, these are cute, but they weren't her size. And I was like, oh my god, they're so cute. So I was like, do you mind if I try them on? Like, I didn't want to be the person who like stole the shoe that she wanted, you know what I mean? Because I was like, I hope she doesn't mind. I love those shoes. Also, tried them on, they were a perfect fit, and they were really cheap because they were on the used sale rack. I don't have an REI that I can get to. I don't have a car or anything. And they just happened to be there, and they were the right size. Anyway, I wound up buying them. They became my favorite shoe. They were probably like, I feel like they were $20. Like, that's how cheap they were. They were in very good condition, barely used. But that's how old the style is of the Keen Presidio. So I would realize many years later that Presidio was the name of an air base or some sort of military base in San Francisco. And there was, you know, a sexual assault or pedophile ring exposed at the Presidio Air Base or similar years ago. I would learn this through someone I would watch, especially during the years of what's going on. Like my world was turned upside down. And Douglas Dietrich, I'm afraid to say his name because if you affiliate or seem associated with certain people, you could get targeted. It is bad. You don't want to be targeted. I swear to God, you wind up in the crazy house. You sound like Maria Bamford. Oh my God. You see that? So they can make you seem like you're crazy, or you're going so crazy, you have to get help because there's no, it's better to get lighter help. Lighter meaning maybe seek out a therapist as opposed to having to wind up in an all-out mental institution or asylum. There's no bad stigma. People get into these places and realize, oh my God, there's people from all over the place here. Here in Philadelphia, there were 1 million stickers that said "Get ill" during 2011 to until 2016 they started getting rid of the evidence. That's right. And it was like I didn't know what they meant, but I wondered if that was part of their, let's see, because there are people who want to change laws, they want to change the universe, they want to change everything. And that requires a movement, a population of people who demand a new law, a new order, if you will. And if you have so many people winding up, needing medical attention or therapy or what have you, that it would show higher up. Something's going on here because even my daughter is affected, or even my son is affected, and we've been pretty okay. I'm wondering what's causing it, So they would have to create a new situation so that people could feel better without losing house and home, you know what I mean, or what have you. So it's in that realm, this idea of a movement, lobbying for a change of laws, and what populations are affected in order to help that cause, and who causes havoc. Chaos. They had stickers out here that said chaos F-E-C-K. So get ill and chaos F-E-C-K. There were 1 million messages. I took care of some pugs down there for a while, way back in 2010, 11, 12. So anyway, but King Presidios, got them at the REI on the used rack while visiting a friend named Becky, so I appreciated it because they became my favorite shoe, and now I have a new pair, but they seem narrower, this particular pair. I wonder too, it's their leather, so, oh, Great Dane. So over time, I'll have to wait because leather stretches, so I wondered, would they stretch out and be more bulbous? But I actually think the new pair that I got was actually slightly larger. So I was like, did I get wide before? Wide fit? They fit the same. So did I? Anyway, so that's that. I kind of miss Becky. My world got turned so upside down that everyone started to look like an issue, or I was afraid to bother people. I was afraid to sound crazy. And it's like, well, she's moving on. Her life just keeps going on as normal. I'm over here dealing with everyone else's demon in the universe. Oh, look, Strangeloves. In the Gayborhood. So, is it on St. James? Chancellor St. James. So, I'm not sure who does it, but they could be, it could be that some people don't want people to be in the Gayborhood, and they would go that far. But no one totally gets it, so we'll just leave it at that. Except, we'll just leave it at that. I don't know if that's the truth, but someone brought it up as a theory, so we'll just leave it at that. But Strangeloves is on St. James, unless they're hiding from the ultra-religious. We'll leave it at that. I don't know. I know there's a million different motives for people